Symptoms can take years to develop. It happened under the noses of the United States health authorities. No one realized that was happening until it became an animal pandemic affecting deer, elk, and other animals. Thousands of cases have been detected to date in 251 counties throughout 24 states in the United States. In Canada, several cases have also been detected, and since this video was uploaded a few weeks ago, there was news of only a couple infected deer. This issue is of great concern. When a person named Tim Wells uploaded this video to his channel, US authorities who were trying to dodge the issue, but as soon as this came out to light, the press cannot continue to avoid the issue. Nevertheless, after a quick look at the remains of these victims, which name comes as chronic wasting disease, or by its popular name, zombie deer disease. There is nothing to exaggerate in this last name. This zombie deer picture you see on screen is from a movie, but the real one looks much, much worse. This is not a montage or edit. There are rumors scientists were saying that in the advanced stage of the zombie disease, they were stating that a human being could be highly infected. Once the disease moves to the marrow spine, to the animal's head, it slowly destroys the animal's gray matter until it turns the brain into a wet sponge. Soon the deer will not only lose their vision, they will walk around without emotions and will lose their most basic instincts of an animal, trapped in a cruel existence until the moment they die, for not able to eat or drink water or falling off a cliff. It's curious because thanks to this topic, we can see how the health authorities behave. The more attention people pay to the topic, the more information they publish. But if people did not say anything, the authorities would not have explanations at all to the public. In other words, they may see that as a process to not cause panic to the public. Still curious. At the beginning of February, they said that it has not entirely certain that the zombie deer disease could infect human beings. But even so, they recommended in all the United States to avoid eating deer meat. When you see this video, There is already news of the subject that informs campers and even hunters that if they see an animal with this disease, they must avoid all contact by any means necessary. This disease is not new. It has been known since the 1960s. First time in Colorado, a deer appeared with the disease, and Canadian scientists later realized that they could perfectly infect a primate slash monkey. Therefore, a human being is in the danger zone, and they always knew it. But like I said before, it's curious how news gets spread out to the public. And the dangerous thing is that it takes time to spread. The animals do not present symptoms, invades them slowly, damages the nervous system, and turns the brain into a sponge, like I mentioned before. By the time it can be detected, it is already too late, since there's no possible cure. Chronic wasting disease, or deer zombie disease, in theory, could zombify or infect a human being, but it would not become violent. It would not attack others like in movies. Simply, the individual will be in a continuous degeneration of his brain functions until it becomes a walking wreck in a shadow. And by the time the brain can be detected, it is already very damaged. And like I mentioned before, same as in animals, there is no possible cure in human beings. Another fact is that never before in history, since this disease was discovered, had there been many cases since 2019. The first time, like I mentioned, in the 60s. The second time around in the early 80s. There were always isolated cases to date, and there are much more cases in Canada and United States. According to rumors, there are cases in European countries. The terrifying thing, it is not to known how many deer are really infected. Reported cases are one thing, but keep in mind there are many, many more we do not know. This only means that at some point there were a massive spread, and since the disease is silent, it is only today that there are so many animals showing now symptoms. This is of great concern to the health authorities, that there are already infected humans without even knowing it. Just thinking about how many people have eaten deer meat since 2019, and since it takes years to develop, it is a worrying thing. Even worse yet, think about the following. Since the disease is spread by eating meat, but also presumably by sharing fluids with other people, knowing that it's incurable when detected, what is left to the people when are infected? What we will do to them when they have symptoms of a contagious and incurable disease? Do you realize the social tragedy and panic that this creates? Indeed, they are not zombies in a literal sense, but that does not mean that the infected person or animal is not potentially dangerous. The Black Plague killed more than 75 million people in the 14th century. In 1918, the Spanish flu, 100 million people. A pandemic are big words. Day by day, this news gets more to talk about. See you soon at the final station.